So join in the fight that will give you the right to be free. Do you hear the people singing the song of angry men?
Simon Brown, media analyst.
Hey! Kia ora. Hey, absolutely amazing turnout for a day like today, guys. We are hard southern folk and we've proved it today, all right? Jolly good. One of the things that's really pissed me off about this TPPA thing, and I don't know if it has you, but it's been really hard to get news. Yeah, it's like there's nothing out there. It's like, well, is anything going on at all? Are other people concerned or not? I guess it's just not a big thing. Well, it is a big thing, but we're not being told enough about it. And mainstream media, hello TD3, actually good to see you here, fantastic. About time. Finally turning up after months and months and months of being ignored. So there's a plus for the mainstream media today, but overall it's been pretty shocking. So where do we go to get the real news if we don't get it at the 6 o'clock news, and we don't get it from Paul Henry, and we don't get it from Mike Hopkins? Now let's not be too hard on Mike. There was a person in the crowd to me, I said, well, he's a bit of an arsehole. He said, no, he's not an arsehole, he's definitely a foot lower than that. Anyway, I wasn't sure I was going to say that, but I've said it now anyway. So, because the thing about Mike Hostings is this: he is not an academic, he's not an expert, he's not even really a journalist, he's a presenter who pontificates every night as if he was the King of New Zealand. I think he should do his homework, and Jane Kelsey showed him up the other week when he said, all trade deals are done in secret, aren't they? We all know that. Golly, golly, golly. And she said, well, I can show you 5 right now that we've done that aren't. You have done your homework, haven't you, Mike? Oops. Yeah, so she put him in his place in about time. So where do we get the real news from if we're not getting anything from a lot of mainstream media? Well, Radio New Zealand is still pretty good. Morning Report. Get it on in the mornings. Yeah. The It's Our Future website. Chocker full of breaking stories every day about what's going on around the world. All right? Also, Martin Bradbury's the Daily Blog and the Standard are also good places to look. And we'll put all these up on the website. So if you can't get the real news, we'll get it for you. Right, jolly good. So when it comes to international news, publiccitizen.org, the Huffington Post from Washington, and WTO Newsstand, which gives an accurate weekly update on the TPPA negotiations. It's worth going there, it's free, and it will inform you. So that's what we can do. We need to look at an alternative media network if we're not getting the real news. Do a bit of digging, it's definitely be worth it. So I'm just going to say a couple of things about what's going on in regard to the agreement, in terms of the agreement itself and the opposition to it. A little bit about what's happening in New Zealand, because things are happening overseas, and are they happening here? And they're happening here today. Yeah, absolutely. So negotiations, as we know, were not completed in Hawaii. They're having another bash at it at the ASEAN conference informally on the 22nd of August. But the good news for this year is it looks highly improbable that they can pass this through the Senate by the end of the year. They've missed the bus. And the reason that happens is because under the fast-track American legislation, once they've actually signed the agreement and said that it has to go to the president, it will take at least 4.5 months of procedures for that to occur. One of the things that the Democrats did manage to get in there is that 30 days after they say they want it to be signed, there is 60 days where the public of America will get to see the full text. And that means people will get to see it too. But at this stage, it doesn't look like they're going to get it through before Christmas. And when they get it past Christmas, there's a problem. Does anybody know what it is? It's the elections. Yes, and it's such a contentious issue in America that both Republicans and Democrats are really worried about their seats, so it may start to slide off the agenda a bit. And remember Hillary Clinton, who's just come out against the TPPA. Unfortunately for Hillary, she also needs $2.5 billion million worth of money from her rich sponsors to get in. So there's a bit of a dichotomy happening there. The other thing is that this week WikiLeaks has actually gone digging and found that although she said she's not in favour of the TPPA, for the whole of the first Obama administration, when she was Secretary of State, she was right up to her neck in it. There's oodles and oodles of emails that show she was right behind it, so we can't trust Hillary Clinton. But what about the Republicans? Donald Trump hates the TPPA. He really does. He wants to chuck it out, so you never know, we might be having a beer for Donald Trump after all if he gets in, because he'll knock it out for us. So that's a bit about what's going on overseas. Remember, Canada's probably not going to join because they don't want to wreck their dairy industry. And their Prime Minister at the moment, Stephen Harper, is facing an election in October this year. It's very contentious. I don't think Canada's going to go for it. Malaysia have been upgraded from a grade 3 in human trafficking to a grade 2, which is a bit dubious. And the reason for that happening is that will allow them to be part of the TPP. However, some clever people in Congress this week says they've fudged the report. There has been no actual change in Malaysia, and they've subpoenaed all the emails, texts and speeches and may stop Malaysia getting in too. So there's plenty going on overseas. Australia's not happy with the sugar, and there's a little country down the bottom of the world that really wanted to get some dairy into Japan, into the US, and into Canada, but I don't think that's going to happen either. And you know what Donald Trump said? He said a very profound thing. He said, you know, no deal is better than a bad deal. And I think that's right. So I reckon Timmy Grocer, and let's face it, this deal does get grosser and grosser and grosser. I think he just needs to walk away and have some dignity and say, let's do some bilaterals with someone else. So that's what's happening internationally. So what's been happening in New Zealand? Well, this week in Wellington, there was a petition given to Parliament of over 100,000 Kiwis. Yes. There was a flash mob from a secret group who stormed and invaded the Ministry of Foreign Affairs with huge microscopes and went all around the office looking for the secret text. They also went outside and were looking in the garden. They still haven't found it, but they're still trying. Of course, only about 2 weeks ago, we lost a very narrow vote on the ISDS bill for New Zealand First, which would have prevented governments from suing us. Now, we haven't really heard much about this either, but do you know that it was only defeated 61 votes to 60? That's how bloody close it is. And do you know who the one person was that put it over the line? Mr. Peter Dunn. I can't wait for him to get re-elected. Yeah. So that's some of what's been happening. The other thing is that a concerned coalition of constitutional lawyers back in the year petitioned the Ministry of Trade and Industry for the text because they believed it was in the public interest to know. The Official Information Act request was refused. They then took it to the Ombudsman, who has spent 4.5 months and has decided that it should now go to a judicial review. Not the Prime Minister, not the Cabinet, not the Ministry of Trade and Industry, but the official independent judiciary of New Zealand. And they may actually say you've got to turn it over. And there is a precedent for this because under the TPPA, which is the sister agreement for Europe, the Ombudsman to the Parliament of Europe has already said, because this affects tens of millions of people, it is in the public interest to release the text before it is signed. So that's going on as well. And finally, there's been a coalition of concerned Maori groups who have gone to the Waitangi Tribunal because they do not believe that they've had a proper consultation. Apparently, the Ministry of Trade and Industry went out and had a few hurries and said, what do you think? And this is, what do you think about what, Bill? And he says, well, about the TP, well, what's in it? Oh, I can't actually tell you that. Well, how can we have a discussion? How can we sort of say it's okay? It's, oh, we can't tell you that. So they've gone back and said, we've consulted iwi and it's all good. But Meriden is not happy. And neither should they be, so that's on the tails. So all this stuff you might not have heard from mainstream media, dig it out in alternative media because it's there and it's happening and we're part of it here today. And I'd like to thank all the committee that's organised this 2 weeks. They've been awesome. In 1 week, for an unpaid group of people, they have put on a debate with key politicians on Monday night, a film evening about equality on Wednesday, alternative currency and savings plans on Friday night, a march today, an amazing march considering the weather. And tonight, people, they're putting on a party. There's a very important announcement I now have to make, and that is Christchurch is about to become the first TPPA free zone in New Zealand. Hooray! And we hope that you will continue to sign the petition over at the Green Tent. If you haven't, we are taking that to council. We are putting it on the agenda. The council doesn't like the TPPA. Yanni doesn't like the TPPA. We'd like some signage. So, with all this going on in the world and all this what can we do as individuals? A lot. What we want you to do is to get those stickers and those posters and go back to Papanui or Sumner or whatever. Just put a couple up in some shops that'll put it up. Stick a couple on the bus stop. Put one on your letterbox and say, we are in a TPPA free zone, and get behind the graphic, get behind the campaign, and we'll get some coverage for it. So each and every one of us can do a little bit. It's like the Chinese. If he's only gone one brick, it's just one brick. But when all the Chinese put all their bricks together, they got the Great Wall of China. So there you go. So thank you very much for listening. Remember, if you can't get it on mainstream, get it on alternative. We'll put it all up. Keep digging, and thank you very much.
Great stuff, Simon. Thank you very much.
Do you hear the people singing the song of angry men? It is the music of the people who will not be slaves again.